actually just recorded an entire video where I went through Naresh's story between his interview with Channel 9 and what he told the cops at the welfare check. But I was getting so confused by how much it had changed that I actually scrapped that because I wanted to go back and double check and make sure that I had it all right. And his stories are so insanely different from what he told the police at the welfare check versus what he told Katie Lusso in that interview, that it blows my mind. It's even worse than I realized somehow. So let's get into it. First, here is what he told Katie Lusso about Wednesday, July 31st, the last night that he saw Mamta.
Did she say anything about leaving?
No.
So how did you realize that she was missing?
She wasn't appear at her work, and then she's very focused on her work, and then once we know she's not at work, then that makes very serious to me, and that's how I don't know what I.
By the way, I saved the entire unedited video that USA 9 posted of that interview onto my YouTube playlist. So you can watch the entire 7.5 minute interview there for yourself. But what's key is he tells her that the night was normal and Mamta didn't say a single thing about leaving when they had dinner the night of July 31st. He thought she was going to work on August 1st and didn't realize she was missing until, she didn't come home from work in the evening. So then where did this whole Texas, New York, she planned a trip thing come from? I couldn't remember. I said, did I hear that in one of his other interviews? Was it from one of the hearings? I couldn't remember because I was like, it had to come from somewhere, and how could it be so different? So I looked at my notes, and these are my notes from the bond hearing. And here's my section on the prosecution, what the prosecution said. On August 2nd, officers met Naresh at the front door of his home. And this is the welfare check that I'm talking about. Naresh told the officers that he and Mamta were in the process of separating and that she was visiting a sister in New York or Texas and destroyed her phone beforehand, but that he expected her back on Sunday. Can we sidebar for a second? In what world are you separating from your husband, say that you're going to go to New York or Texas to visit family, and then destroy your phone, leaving you unable to contact your husband who is taking care of your small child, but then tell him, oh, but I'll be back on Sunday? Okay, moving on. Now, I want to point out that Sarah Sammy, the prosecutor, also said that on August 5th, Naresh contacts the initial officer and says that he hasn't heard from Mamta. And that's when the missing person report was put in. I put that last part in there because I think it's important to note that the only part of this account that I just read to you about what he told officers at that welfare check that the defense has had an issue with was the fact that he waited until August 5th. The defense said that the prosecution misrepresented it because he actually texted the officer on the 4th, but the officer did not get back to him, and that's why he didn't report her missing until the 5th. His defense attorney didn't say anything about how he didn't say that she was in Texas or New York, or that he didn't say that she destroyed her phone. The defense at this point has never refuted that. So on August 2nd, he gives police the story about her being in New York or Texas visiting family and that he expected her back on Sunday, August 4th. But then days later, he goes on television and tells a reporter that everything was normal, that their relationship had been good for the past couple of months, and that he thought she was going to work early in the morning on August 1st. And it was only after she didn't come home that he realized something was wrong and then went to go look for her in the places that he knew that she liked to hang out. Those stories are so incredibly different that I cannot believe police didn't ask him to come down to the station the second this interview aired on television. Because if I were the initial officer And I'm sitting at home watching that, like my head would explode. And of course, there are more lies, there are more inconsistencies, but like just this on its own is so insane to me. And yes, I agree with this comment. He is a liar and a bad one. And that is why I think that justice is going to prevail for Mamta.